Alright, so here's the PTB update before it goes live next week on Tuesday. They have some changes after the feedback of Chucky and Trickster. I read through it already, and there's some of the decisions they made is kind of crazy. They just made some adjustments to his base power. They made the scamper take 0.2 seconds longer, which I think is fine. If you scampered normally, you could pretty much guaranteed get a hit, you know, at 99% of the pallets. So I think that's fine, making the scamper take a little bit longer. They reduced some of the add-ons, like the one that increased the duration of the slice and dice. They made it base kit 1.2 seconds. It was 1 second. So they extended his base kit slice and dice, and then they weakened the add-on that increased the slice and dice duration. And this is where it gets interesting. Batteries included, arguably one of the worst perks I think ever, in my opinion, at least in the last year. Batteries included, whenever a generator is powered, anytime you walk by that generator, so it's completed, it's, you know, there's no reason for you to ever be walking by it ever again. You get a 5% haste for as long as you're within 12 meters of that generator, and it lingers for 10 seconds. Now, they nerfed the perk. There's a slight problem with this, they say. When the last generator is powered, all generators become powered. This made the perk far stronger during the end game than intended, especially on smaller maps and or when paired with other perks such as Hex Noed. Rather than reducing the effects of the perk, we are instead adding a new clause: batteries included now deactivates when the exit gates are powered. Dude, this perk was the worst perk out of all three of them, and it's even worse now. Like, you know what I mean? It's a terrible perk. You should never be using it unless it's like it's a somewhat viable perk on Gideon, you know, Larry's RPD, maybe, you know, 2-story maps, indoors, really close, really tight, then it's solid, right? But if you have batteries included on Coldwind Farms, McMillan Estate, Yamaoka Estate, you know, the Red Forest, it's worthless. It's literally worthless. You know, there's no reason you should be chasing survivors towards completed gens. There's no reason why you should be near, like, the only value it really got was in the end game. And I guess when, you know, I never even thought about combining it with Noed, because I mean Noed is literally batteries included, just better in every single way, except for it's 4% faster instead of 5. So I guess, I mean, when the exit gates were powered, you had Noed and batteries included. That would make you what, 115 plus 4, that's 119 plus 5, so that's 124 in the end game, which could actually be crazy too, because if you combined Noed, batteries included, and then the BFF charms from Legion, that would make you what, 130% movement speed when the exit gates are powered, which is actually kind of insane now that I think about it. But I just think it's weird they nerfed this perk. It was a garbage perk. I think it's definitely one of the worst perks ever to release for Killer in the last year for sure, and it got nerfed. But yeah. Now moving on to Trickster. Basically what we all figured, he's getting a nerf. They always over-tune things and then they nerf it, you know, which I think is the way to do things. You buff it up really high, make it, you know, what you think is the utmost limit, what you think might be passable but still a little OP, and then you get feedback and then you slowly tweak it and pull it back. So they're reverting the Trickster's throw rate to 3 blades per second, was 4. They'd like the main event to happen more than it has historically, so now it takes 8 blades instead to activate, which is still insane in my opinion. I think you could have made it 12 to 16 blades in all honesty, because you get 44 blades. Let me pull out the calculator real quick because I suck at math. So 44 divided by 8. So that's a potential of 5 main events you can get. Probably on the safe side 2 to 3 per reload. And so now you can just throw 8 blades and then use your main event and down them. You know what I mean? So he's still really powerful. 8 blades per main event is still insane. And especially if you throw in the Tequila Moonrock, which makes his main event last as long as it did, you know, before the PTB in total. Still really strong. They replaced the effects of a handful of add-ons, which made them, most of which interacted with the main event. The Death Throes compilation, the one that after using your main event, you reloaded all your knives. Well, it's got a new effect, reveal the auras of survivors hit during main event for 6 seconds. Pretty much worthless, honestly. If you're using main event, you know, chances are pretty good you used it in a certain spot to where you know you would down them instantly. The only thing I could actually see this being good for is maybe you're using trick blades and then you use your main event right when they're about to vault a window, and so you hit them with a couple blades and then they run like behind a wall and you ricochet and hit them. For an ultra rare, it's pretty much terrible. This is not worthy of being an ultra rare in my opinion, considering he had a aura reveal add-on, the diamond cufflinks, where if they're, I think, 2 hits away from the maximum laceration, they'll be revealed for 5 seconds. So death throw's new effect, pretty much worthless. And then the iridescent photo card, this one was new already. It used to be the last version before the version they put out in the PTB. It used to be when a survivor was 1 hit away from the maximum laceration meter, they would be exposed. So you could throw, it was, I believe, 7 knives to injure, 6 knives for max last, and so you hit them with 6 and then you M1 them and they go down instantly, but you were a 4.4 killer. So they buffed them up, made them 115, and then they changed it to the haste bonus, or each knife you land you get a 1% haste bonus up to 7%, and you lose the haste bonus when you put a survivor into the dying state, which I thought was perfectly fine. I mean, okay, you waste like a minute being very diligent, landing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 knives, and then what, you go around the map M1ing a bunch of people and injuring everybody. You can't put anybody into the dying state, so I don't see why they nerfed it. But now it's the haste bonus is now lost when a survivor is injured, previously when a survivor entered the dying state. Like that was a completely unnecessary nerf, but they did it anyway. So but yeah, I just wanted to talk about that real quick. Some interesting changes. So overall, that's it. That's all the updates before this comes to the game live next Tuesday, the 28th. Yeah, interesting choices. I don't know why we did that to batteries included. It's a terrible perk, honestly. I would say it's like a 1-star perk, 2-star perk max. That does it for this one. Thanks for watching.